What's up, everybody? Welcome to Philly with John Marks. We're live on a Tuesday morning. Morning, everybody watching live out there on YouTube, on TV. If you're listening later or watching later, hello, good morning. As always, Philly with John Marks on PHLY. Joining us this morning, courtesy of BlackGritty.com, is Black Gritty.
We're going to the World Series. Johnny, why didn't you see the game last night? We go. Oh, I apologize.
What an exciting finish, man.
It's only July. It's only July.
What a great game. That's all right. But see, BG, we need that kind of energy because even when you're wavering and your voice cracks when you say we're going to the World Series, you're still saying it.
Yeah, I can't back down now. I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word, and they've got to support me if they ever cared about me. I know people say all the time, these teams don't care about you. They care about me. They care. They don't want to embarrass me when I'm trying to support them. Johnny Marks. I went from Benny Hill music with Turner running bases the other day to this ending last night. It's like, man alive. Like, can we just watch a game and just like enjoy a game?
Dude,
if you're losing 7-1 and you're like, you know what? Freak this game, and you turn it off in the seventh inning, guaranteed in 25 minutes, your phone's going to be blowing up and they end up winning 9-7 because you walked away. You have to watch until the end with this team all the time. Sometimes have your heart broken and sometimes to bring out the towel.
Yep. I could see you on your couch waving the towel.
I was screaming last night. I was like, oh my God, it's so crazy. Baseball's crazy.
Well, the entire 10th inning, first of all, Lazard does a great job of getting out of the top of the 10th, which was when that happened, it was like, all right, they're going to win this game. And it felt like it. And then Hicks comes in, and I mean, he didn't throw a strike until that last batter, right?
Yeah.
He was all over the place. So they load the bases. I mean, they were trying they were giving it out. They were trying to bunt, and he keeps throwing breaking pitches. And then the catcher's interference happens. The best part of that entire thing, Ben Davis didn't know the rules. He's a major league catcher. He's a former major league catcher. He's like, yeah, but if he gets the catcher's mitt before the swing, I was like, no, you can't hit the catcher's mitt. He reached into the strike zone, Ben. How do you not know that? You're a catcher. You're a major league catcher. I guess it never happened to him like that. I don't know. I was blown away.
It kills me anytime because, again, you and I you're obviously at a professional level covering sports and all that kind of stuff. But these guys play the game. And when you look at Shanahan and the 49ers not knowing the overtime rules, what are you doing with your life? You're a grown adult who grew up in the sport. You don't know the rules? Like you said, this guy's a catcher. And you don't know the rules, whether it happened to you or not. At some point, you've had to see this. It's very rare. But you've watched enough baseball to where it's like, you're a catcher, bro. So it always makes me feel better because I always talk to, like, when you're coaching, you're going to be coaching your daughter soon, stuff like that. You be like, hey, look, Trey Turner makes $300 million. He messed up running the bases. I'm not going to kill you today, but tighten up. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just amazing what these guys don't know. I'm like, and I look up to you. I'm listening to you for analysis.
Right. And because T-Mac's like, oh, no, that's catcher's interference. Like, there was no doubt in his mind that there was catcher's interference. Donovan famously or infamously didn't know the overtime rules. He was shocked.
Yeah.
When the game was tied. And I remember afterwards, because I'm old enough to have worked in sports radio when that happened. I remember afterwards hearing the player's perspective of, oh, do you know how many people on a team don't know the overtime rules? They don't know the overtime rules. No ex-player was shocked. And I'm like, all right, I get it. If you're a coach or you're a quarterback, it's pretty important that you know the freaking rules, the basic rules of a game. So I was shocked, but I guess I shouldn't be shocked at anything.
It shows me how many guys are checked out because all I hear all the time is 2-minute drill, fourth quarter drill. Like, you drill all these things all the time, and you tell me how you're so prepared. Oh, the reason Patrick Mahomes can do a comeback is because we practice this and we drill this and then something like that happens. Like, well, we didn't know the rules. How is that possible that Andy Reid is your head coach and you never went over this? No, you aren't listening, blockhead. You were checked out because you're like, whatever. So it's always, like I said, it's amazing when it happens.
So a couple things. The at bat by Sosa last night that he worked the catcher's interference. He was down 0-2 in that count. You're talking about a guy that throws not 100, he throws over 100, right? And he laid off a couple of close pitches. That was a really, really good at bat. Sosa had a hit off of Chapman. So we talked about this yesterday. I don't want to overdo it with Sosa. Pretty much anytime he plays, he's earning more at bats. So Bohm is out now. He's going to see some more playing time. You figure Otto Kemp's going to get the majority that starts at third base. I don't know if I need to see Otto Kemp with the majority that starts at third base. It seems like every game I watch, he's making an error over there. I like him. He can be a part of it. Edmundo Sosa's earned starts for me, whether against righties or lefties, and he did it again last night in a very high-pressure, tough situation. You're down 0-2 in a count. You got a guy throwing 104, and he's laying off pitches, and he ends up working a catcher's interference to win the ball game. What a moment.
I need to see Kemp like once a week. That's all I need. I don't need it. I'm tired.
I don't need him every day. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm tired of platooning things. Like, give a guy a spot, let him get comfortable in it. Let me see what he's got. Because again, when you get into the postseason, you're not going to be switching a lot. Because Rob likes to stick with his guys. Well, show me a guy and let him get comfortable so I can see if he gets hot. And again, the errors with Kemp is just unbearable because it's not just his fault. You know, Trey be making these weird errors sometimes. You're just like, what are we doing? But Kemp is just not it for me, bro. It's not it.
Well, as we welcome in Tyler Zilli of PHLY Phillies, he had a post-game reaction last night. Tyler, what are the weirdest walk-offs that you've seen that you can remember? Last night, I think it hasn't been done since the 70s, 1970s. Ryan Spader
71
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Phillies have been kind of on both ends of weird walk-offs this year. They've won on walk-off catcher interference. They've won on walk-off wild pitch. They've lost on a walk-off inside the park home run. Like, it's been a really weird, season for the Phillies in terms of walk-off wins and in walk-off losses. I've seen walk-off walks before. I've seen walk-off hit by pitches, but like, you're getting into the territory of walk-off balk, walk-off catcher's interference. Like, this stuff is where it starts to get like really into the weeds. And I jokingly said, like, raise your hand if you've ever seen that before, and then put it down if you're not at least, almost 60 years old, because it hasn't happened in 55 years. Like, that's 2 generations worth of baseball at this point that it hasn't happened. It was a weird and no hits either, right? Ghost runner on second, a couple of walks, a wild pitch, and then the walk-off catcher's interference. It was a weird end to last night's game.
Yeah, they didn't need hits, and we'll take it. I mean, that's a big Red Sox. They lost 2 or 3 of the Cubs. Before that, they won 10 games. So they have a little bit of spunk to them right now, post trading away, post making a big trade. So that's the first game of a series after you lose 2 or 3. It's a big win. It takes some pressure off. You're not scoreboard watching and standings watching necessarily right now, but still, like, coming out of the gate, because you lose 2 or 3 now to the Red Sox. Now you're like, all right, we lost our first 2 series. Suarez got hit up. And Wheeler pitched great last night. The offense still isn't performing well. How about Bryce though? Bryce's average is all the way up to 271. So you blink, he's been on an extra hit binge here over the last week or so. It's been fun.
He's seeing the ball exceptionally well. Even when it's a bad at bat, if you want to say that, he's seeing it. And that's when I know Bryce is about to get back to rocking and rolling, because he's seeing these pitches. Like when he's getting struck out and he's like, come on, bro, that was 14 centimeters to the left. Like, that's a ball. Like, I'm like, man, it's so good because we get the advantage of watching that little box. So I can see that he knows what he's doing up there at the plate right now. And so he's just got to get that power popping. You know what I mean? I don't know what's up. You know what I mean? He's got
he's got like the robot vision going on right now, where everything's in like green and like lime green, like because he was right that the where he struck out in the 8th inning of what was that Saturday's game, I guess. But when he waved the umpire like that, he was right, man. Yeah. I mean, he is locked in right now. And Bryce is like this. When he gets locked in, look out. So you can put a lefty out there, you can put a righty out there. Like he is so ride it right now, because they need it.
He's not throwing his front shoulder. Like when he had returned from injury, you could see his front shoulder was flying open. He was a little bit because his swing's so violent that it's a very fine line between violent and compact and violent and long. And I think you could see he was kind of opening up and throwing the front shoulder, and pitchers were almost throwing him breaking balls in, which was weird because they were just trying to like make him uncomfortable. And you could see he was flying open. He's staying compact within himself at this point. And the thing that he's done really well over the last couple of weeks, on top of the extra base hit stuff, is he's taken a lot of stuff to left center field. And when Bryce is on, much like when Ryan Howard was on, when Harper's on, his power to the opposite field is unquestionable. And you saw a lot of left center field gap doubles, an opposite field home run. The extra base hit stuff is great, but when he's going to the opposite field, he is one of the best hitters on the planet.
Yeah, not pull happy right now. When you bring that up with Ryan Howard, I was watching. I think I watched some video of every one of his 58 home runs in 2006, and he just used to flick that ball over the left field wall. He was so strong, and he would go with the pitch, flick it out there, but he would hit monster home runs to left center. And you're right. Right now, Bryce is really smoking the ball. Any other takeaways from last night? Bullpen was awesome. Everybody did their job.
Guys, they might have something with Max Lazar. I'm not saying something in terms of like high leverage, but like the kid might be a decent middle reliever.
Yeah, he was a pretty big prospect with the Brewers. And I saw what he was doing at AAA last year. He had like an ERA under 1 for a lot of the years, but sometimes then you bring him to the majors and the stuff just doesn't translate. At the very least, he's better than any of these other guys they've brought up from the minors. I don't need to see Seth Rogen or Seth Johnson or Seth Green coming up here like we have Black Gritty. So yeah, Lazar looked good last night. Listen, that was a big out to get in the 10th inning to get out of that inning.
And it's not, and Tyler, we talk about this all the time. For me, it's I look in the guy's eyes, you know what I mean? And I'm a people person. So I look in his eyes, I'm like, man, this is pressure. It's not postseason pressure, but he handled that. Like the weight of the world is on you in that moment. He didn't flinch. And that's what I like. That's what I like. Because later on when it comes down the line and you have a bad pitch, something like that, can you keep your composure? Because Kirkring last year, I'm like, man, don't cry, bro. You look like you're about to cry out there. Like, get it together. He held it together last night, and that's the kind of stuff that gives me confidence going forward.
I want to give him credit, too. He said in the post-game interview with the guys on the broadcast, like, he was on the top step. He was ready to go back out if they needed him to. He was going to pitch the next inning.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've seen that a lot with guys this year. Like, they tried to get the 5-out save from Romano, and it was a bad decision. Like, Max Lazar was pitching the 11th if called upon, and he wanted the ball. And I think that's important for a young kid. I mean, he's not like a kid, but, you know, he's young in his career, his major league career.
Yeah.
I think that's important in terms of, like, confidence boosting. And I think he is starting to garner the confidence, not just of his teammates, but I think of Rob Thompson, too.
There you go. Well, that's the Phillies. They're going to win last night. Back at it tonight. So you're a look in the eye. You want to look in somebody's eye, Black Gritty?
Man, I know if somebody's a good person the first 30 seconds I meet them. Especially I'm in their presence, all I need is 30 seconds to know everything I need to know about you as a person. On TV, I need like an inning. You know what I mean? I need like a full interview. But I can look at people like, man, this dude does not have it, or he doesn't have it yet. Like I said, Kirkring last year, I was like, come on, baby, like get it together. This year he gets himself with some jams. The look on his face, his composure is just different. And that comes from maturity and seeing it more and things like that. But some guys just look like they're going to break, like, I mean, they're like their candy glass. So,
yep,
yeah,
candy glass, candy ass.
Candy ass. Yeah, I'll be looking in the eyes like a lot of the Cowboys roster. You know what I mean? Fugazi.
We'll talk about them coming up. I'm also a big handshake guy. Recently, my friend's son, who's like, I don't know, he's like 11 or 12. And it's like, I haven't seen him in a while since, you know, it's been a couple years. And I'm like, hey, buddy, what's going on? He comes up and shakes my hand. And it is a good, firm handshake. And I'm like, man, okay.
Yeah.
Like, good job. Keep that up. Yeah. Firm handshake's important.
Are we old? Because I got, you know, I remember my grandmother said it. You know, you look somebody in the eyes, you speak directly to them, you shake their hand. You know, I said stuff to my daughter all the time. Like, she had a problem with her coach. And she's like, oh, can I text him? I'm like, no. Go into his office before practice. You know what I mean? As I say after practice. So that way, if he's mad, you don't get run through the ringer during practice. I'm like, go after practice, ask if you can have a conversation, tell him what the situation is, whether he agrees with you or disagrees with you, tell him thank you for his time and shake his hand. And every time she would do stuff like, and every time she would do something like that, he would, because kids don't do it anymore. So he would automatically be on her side. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wow. Well, thank you for, approaching me like an adult. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're only 12, but, I can't fight all our battles for him. I'm like, look, now, if you don't listen, not go in there and do something first, do it for yourself. So, yeah, you got to get on the kids. You teach that old school stuff.
The kids, it's all about the kids. We got some Cowboy stuff coming up. As Jera's being Jera. Also some Eagles. I have something on the Eagles and Saquon Barkley coming up. I had to bring this up because this really hit me hard yesterday, and I'm thinking that you might be kind of in the same era as me with Malcolm Jamal Warner passing away, freaking drowning in Costa Rica on a family vacation. I mean, Jesus Christ. Man, I've said this I don't know how many times because living in Hawaii, I know how people can drown that don't realize that you can drown easily. Yes. Or at the Jersey Shore, they have these rip currents and people get swept away and they drown. So I don't know the details of what happened in Costa Rica, but like Blackberry, the Cosby Show for me, and like I immediately got put in an algorithm last night on Twitter of every video of Theo and the Cosby Show. I was up till 3:00 in the morning commenting and retweeting and watching these videos. I know what happened with Bill Cosby, and he's an absolute creep, and the Benadryl cocktails and all that other stuff. But the Cosby Show to me, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it, was such an important show and meant so much to me growing up that like when I watch it today, when you can find it, or just looking at the videos last night, it's like a snapshot of my life. It's like my childhood that I'm just watching in front of me, and hearing that Malcolm Jamal Warner died only 54 years old, not that much older than me. God, it just hit me, man. It really killed me. It was such a gut punch last night because that was such a good show. And I'm sure to a lot of Black Americans out there, it meant so much as well. So I just wondered what you thought about the Cosby Show and what you thought when he died.
So we just talked about this, like 2 episodes ago. We're talking about, swimming and drowning and being caught in situations at the beach. I almost passed away.
That's right. We did talk about it on the show.
We just talked about how dangerous and how quick it can happen to you. So first of all, the Cosby Show is top 5 TV shows of all time, of any genre, of any importance, of anything that goes on in the world. And I know that Cosby has tainted that, but he can't take away from the greatness of the show. Anyone who grew up in that era, anyone who grew up and had children in that era, know that it is one of the best shows ever created and put on television. Theo was obviously in a female-dominated cast besides Bill, was a standout in his own, and the levity that he brought. He was Will Smith before Fresh Prince. He was so many things to so many people, and he was just in the Residency, like that ran for 5 or 6 seasons. He was in 911 recently. I was like, man, I was happy to see him like get back to acting and other mainstream things. He's done a lot of little things, but mainstream things. And the really sad part is, again, knowing people, if you follow him, he was a disgustingly positive, happy individual, caring about others, talking about his family, just talking about, hey, I'm about to go pick up cupcakes for the kids. And he would post that kind of stuff and share that kind of thing. He wasn't a self-serving actor who only cared about their presence and their persona. Right. He was a regular freaking dude, and he was a good one. And I usually don't care about celebrities who pass away for whatever reason. I'm like, they're millionaire, billionaire, whatever. I don't care. People die every day, B. But that did make me feel some sort of way last night. I was not very happy about it. I had a lot of my aunts texting me, family members, the older family members texting me about how sad it was last night. It is extremely upsetting.
I mean, really, like you don't think about it, right? Like if Theo Huxtable dies, but it killed me last night, man.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching the videos, and we lost Black Curdy off the screen for a second. I'm watching the videos last night, and God, it was just some of the best TV. So a quick story. I'm Tyler and I, we share that we're both Catholic. Now, Tyler went to Catholic school. I went to CCD. If you don't know what CCD is, it's once a week for Catholic kids that want to get their confirmation and their communion and things like that, right? So the first, I don't know, I think it's through 5th grade, and then 6th grade you move days. But I was on Thursday night from 7 until like 8:10. Or it might have even been 8:15. So the Cosby Show was Thursday at 8:00. Talking about a powerful TV lineup that Bill Cosby created on. It started Thursday night, really, and it went on for years and years and years. So I would go to CCD. I didn't want to go to CCD. I told my mom I didn't want to go to CCD. I told my mom I didn't believe in God, and I went to CCD anyway, and I hated it. But you wouldn't get home until literally like the last 30 seconds to a minute. I would run inside, and you would see the credits. Casey Werner, and it would be the and that would be it. And then like I had somebody message me last night and was like, well, we tape it on the VCR. Man, in 1986, it wasn't as easy as setting a timer and figuring out a timer on a VCR to tape a show. Right.
And not for nothing. I don't care unless you had money. People didn't have money just to have having extra tapes to tape around because you'd have like one tape and then grandma would tape over, your mom would tape over something.
I was 9 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't as easy as you think it is. Just tape it. It was not.
Right. So because I didn't. I remember trying to figure it out, and it was like, this is not going to happen. And then when you get a little bit older, you move to Monday night CCD Black Gritty, and that's when Cousin Pam and Slide and Olivia, when the show started to jump the shark. So by then it was like, all right, well, but the prime Cosby Show, Felicia Rashad, Lisa Bonet, all of like the kids that never became stars afterwards. Yeah. Lisa Bonet was an actress and like a star, married Lenny Kravitz, but like Tempest Bledsoe and the rest, like what has Rudy done?
Yeah, and so it's funny because my daughters watched probably 80% of the Cosby Show, which turned her into like a different world, and Martin and all those things, because there's not that many black quote unquote shows. So when she was younger, I would have her like watch the certain things with Rudy. Like there's certain episodes where you can get a kid locked in where the kids had their time to shine. And if you sit a kid down in front of you, like, wow, it's like a kid talking to a kid. So you can get them locked in, and then they'll evolve into liking the rest of the show, because there were so many episodes where the kids just got to shine and perform. It was just, like I said, top 5 show of all shows of all time.
What were the other black shows? The Jeffersons, because I remember I was a big Jeffersons fan as a kid.
Sanford and Son,
right? Good Times.
Good Times.
Good Times wasn't a feel good story, right? But
and Good Times is like Good Times was crazy how much of a reality Good Times story it was, because half the time they were struggling to surviving, but they would still laugh, they would still have fun, and that made you feel like that's how life is. Like, it's hard, but like we're a family, we're gonna stick together and do things.
Living in the projects in Chicago, when they finally seen to get something good, James dies, and then the husband dies, and like it's just. But like it's like what's happening? Mabel King left What's Happening because she thought it was Mama Thomas. She's like, no, this is BS. You're portraying something like this isn't important to my community or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like Good Times was legit. Cosby Show, I think, was the first show that was like, oh no, we're a black family, we're affluent. I'm a doctor, she's a lawyer, and this is normal in Black America. Like, this happens. Hey, white people, like, hey, Johnny Marks, who's 10 years old, this is normal in America. Get used to this, right? And like it's important. Yeah. It was important at the time for people to see that.
And just for funsies, to me, take a shot at Wardell Curry. He produced the Good Times cartoon reboot, which was one of the worst shows ever created. And he got ripped for, like, he turned Good Times into like the JJ was a crackhead drug dealing baby, and it was just like, what are we doing? You took a beloved show of my childhood and turned it into this hoochie ratchet Wally. I was like, come on, bro, you put your name on it. Disgusting.
Do you remember the shows that weren't on broadcast TV, but they would be on like Philly 57? They were syndicated, but not like in a good way. Small Wonder was one of them. Oh. Charles in Charge was one of them. What's the Jimmy Walker syndicated show?
I don't know.
Bustin' Loose.
Oh my God.
Which is as bad as that cartoon.
Oh my God. I forgot about it. See, my brain wouldn't allow that in my city, because Small Wonder was my jam. She's a small wonder. That
Vicky
was
the Robot.
Jam. Yeah.
She's fantastic, made of plastic.
Yes.
Vicky the Robot.
You know what looks good now too? Somebody? Punky Brewster has aged well.
Well, Punky Brewster was infamously known early days of the internet for having very large breasts that she had reduced.
They not reduced. They still out there popping.
Google it. Yeah, poor Punky had, she had back problems, I'm sure.
All right. I saw the other day. I was like, man, Punky Brewster. I ain't thought about the JD show. I ain't thought about that stuff. Oh God, Johnny.
All right, worst show, Bustin' Loose or what's happening now?
Bustin' Loose was really bad.
I'm
gonna try to find a download of it so I can put a clip up. That was so bad.
I just remember the promo saying Jimmy Walker is busting loose.
Oh God, Johnny Marks. We're old.
See, this is the pot. We need to do a monthly podcast where we talk about busting loose.
Yeah, just talk about old school stuff.
All right, coming back. Jerry Jones is up to Jerry Jones stuff. All right. A stat you're not going to like to hear on Saquon Barkley and a lot more. Philly with John Marks, PHLY. Here's why. If you're injured, all right, let's talk about summertime. Living's easy. But listen, you like to go outside. I love warm weather because I like to be active, right? I like to be outside all the time. Yesterday I was at the pool. But pretty much doing anything, being outside with the kids running around. And if you're not doing that because you're in pain, Rothman Orthopedics wants to get you back to what you're doing, right? Hiking, tennis, golf. Everybody's playing pickleball. All these white people playing pickleball these days, right? Aches after a pickup game to old injuries flaring up during the summer. Rothman's team of experts is here to help with evidence-based care and a commitment to restoring your mobility. They'll get you back out there stronger than ever. So if you're in pain, you don't have to live with it. You don't. Like you break your leg or you have a severe injury, obviously Rothman Ortho is where you want to go. All right. Nagging pain, lingering pain. If you're not doing what you like, you don't have to live in pain. You don't have to live on ibuprofen. Get a hold of Rothman Orthopedics. Go to rothmanortho.com/PHLY. You can book your appointment today. rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics. Getting you back to your summer game is their mission. Hoo-ah. All right. Ace Hardware Home Services. If you need something done in the house and you're pathetic like me, I actually helped put together a basketball hoop last night. That's right. We got it for my daughter for her birthday. Comes in the box. Could I have done it by myself? Maybe not. But I contributed to it putting together. But that's about all I can do. AceHardwareHomeServices.com. If you can't fix anything, or if you can, you just need somebody. You need a guy. You need a gal that's going to come out for residential maintenance, seasonal maintenance, installation, upgrades. They're local plumbers and tech that handle everything, and they're bringing understanding so the job isn't complete until you're satisfied. Free estimates on equipment installation and replacement with trusted advisors and options that are best suited for your home and your budget. Service you can trust and satisfaction is guaranteed, and they're local. Ace Hardware Home Services live and serve in your community, and they're dedicated to keeping you comfortable in your home. Visit AceHardwareHomeServices.com to get started on your next project. AceHardwareHomeServices.com. Hoo-ah! All right, we're back. Philly with John Marks on PHLY. Tyler Zuli's in the house. Black Gritty's in the house. All right, so I need to bring in Tyler for this before we get to the Jerry Jones stuff. I have some bad news and I have some bad news. Well, I have good news and bad news. I'm going to give you the good news first. Saquon Barkley is a Philadelphia Eagle. That's the good news because
good news.
He's an amazing player. They won a Super Bowl last year. He had 2,000 yards. Let me give you some bad news. And this is going to be in my BetParx, my video, my BetWire video that I make for today. Because I am taking the under in Saquon Barkley yards this year. Do you know what the over-under is for his yards, his rushing yards? Black Gritty, what would you guess?
1,400.
1,450.5.
See, because me and Tyler talked about this when you was gone, Cat Daddy.
Oh, so
we
you
was
knew.
already on this. But go ahead and talk your talk.
All right, so
I cheated.
Of all the listen, to have the answers before the test starts is not illegal and not a bad thing. 2,000 rushers, how they fare the next season. Let's start with Eric Dickerson. He went from 2,103 yards to 1,234 yards the following year. All right, so that's about minus 900 yards. AP, when he did it in 2012, he went from almost 2,100 to 1,266. All right, so there's got to be at least one or two where it's not going to go anywhere, right?
There's not.
Jamal Lewis, 2,066. He went to 1,006, lost 1,000 yards. Barry Sanders went from over 2,000 to 1,491. Still a very good year. Derrick Henry, 2027 to 937. He missed a bunch of time to injury. Terrell Davis from 2008 to 211. Chris Johnson, 2006 to 1,364. And then OJ, who ran for 2,003 yards in 14 games, went to 1,125 the following year. So, like, other than Barry Sanders, and Barry Sanders had, just almost 1,500 yards. All it proves is it's so hard to do when you have that many carries, when you have that much usage. And then defenses also are going to kind of be like, all right, how do we stop him like that? And you have to stay healthy. So my biggest concern with Saquon Barkley this year is he was able to stay healthy and make every start that they needed him to. He took the last game off, obviously, and he couldn't go for the record. But he hasn't stayed healthy pretty much his entire career. So I'm taking the under in Saquon Barkley rushing yards in 1450. It almost seems too easy to take the under. And they're baiting you with that 1450 because people are going to look at it and say, oh, Saquon Barkley had 2,000 yards last year. He's going to easily get over 1450. Man, it's so hard to do 2 years in a row as a running back. So hard to do.
So my favorite thing was, again, I'm a fan. I say dumb things. I have a rally towel. I keep saying the Phillies are going to World Series. I understand that I am the stupid person I'm about to talk about. But last year, I kept telling people, I need him to break the record. He could go and get it next year. No, he can't, doofus, because nobody does it. Every single person you name, every single person you bring up, it doesn't matter. For the exact reason you said. One, the whole universe is like, look, I'm not letting him do it to me. He did it to everybody last year, and by halfway through the season, everybody said, we're not going to let him do it to us. The only saving grace that I got is Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson are just road graders, and no one touches him for the first 5 yards. So that being said, and the amount of 60-plus yard runs that he broke off, he might buck the trend and get 1,500, 1,600. But boy, oh boy, are you tempting fate to go over 1,450. They know what they're doing. You're going to lose your money. It's going to be rough sledding for Saquon. Not everybody can do what another team did, but the blueprint that the Chiefs put out there is like, look, you're getting 1 yard in a cloud of dust, buddy. Other people are going to try and implement that style against the Eagles. They don't have the cachet to do it, but they're going to try.
Yeah, so Tyler, I went over on A.J. Brown receiving yards, which is 1,150, for the reason that Black Grady's talking about, right? If they're going to say, hey, Saquon's not going to beat us, A.J., if he stays healthy, he's going to have 1,400 yards. When you look at A.J. Brown's numbers, he's really a 1,300 or 1,400 yard receiving receiver who has taken a backseat because it's what's best for the team in the rushing attack.
Yeah, I think with Barkley, we've talked about this before. A 75% of what Saquon Barkley picked up last year is still 1,500 yards. I think it's very attainable. I think the two things that will work against him to try to get back to close to 2,000 yards. First and foremost, you have to do it for another 16, 17 games. It's hard to do, no question about it. The other thing that I think maybe the on the field more pressing thing is, BG, you brought up Mailata and Lane Johnson. You want to talk about the one guy that I think was the most impactful in their run game last year. You can make a claim it was Mekhi Becton. And there's no Mekhi Becton this year who did an unbelievable job of selling out from the guard position to help Saquon Barkley in the run game. I think it's very likely that Saquon Barkley has a yardage regression from a season ago because it's nearly impossible to go back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. But the regression that happens doesn't concern me unless it's due to injury. I think the regression that happens is probably right on that mark. They put it at 1,450. I think if you told me he was going to rush for somewhere between 1,400 and 1,500 yards, I would tell you that's a heck of a season. That's a really, really good football season because last year, 3 guys rushed for 1,500 yards. Barkley was one of them. Derrick Henry was one of them. Bijan Robinson, I think, fell 2 yards short. So he was at 1,498. If he finishes at 1,498, that is a heck of a football season.
Yeah. And I'm not so much worried about injury, which was the reason when every single Giants fan you said was like, good luck, he's going to get injured in the third game. Like, we don't have a crappy stadium. He played more than half of his games up at MetLife where it is basically like the vet. You're running on concrete, and every single fall is putting you closer to death. So only having to play there once a year, possibly twice, we got to play the Jets for some reason, is saving his career just on that alone, health-wise.
Yep. Yeah, you know what's crazy about that? And that MetLife turf is horrible, but every NFL team and stadium could have natural grass if they wanted to. The problem is they also like to have all the concerts when the games aren't going on, and they make millions and millions of dollars of those stadium shows.
Yeah.
And you can't have natural grass because it'll get torn up and you'd have to replace it. And it's just easier to have that. Right. You know what they're doing for, you know what these stadiums are doing for the World Cup? Putting natural grass, like they're like, they can do it if they want to. All the Premier League and all those, like, they do the same thing, except they have natural grass and they have to replace it.
Yeah.
So these NFL owners that are billionaires, if they wanted the extra expense and the maintenance and everything else, they could do it. They could save knees, they could save ankles. They don't want to because of the almighty dollar.
You bring up the World Cup games that are coming to the US, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Premier League teams and the La Liga teams and the teams that have billions and billions of dollars called them up and went, you're not messing with our guys. You're not putting our guys' careers in jeopardy to play on your turf. You're putting grass in, and that's a prerequisite to this being a thing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. There you go. All right. Let's get to it. Do you have the video there? There, Tyler Zuli. Jerry. This guy, just when you think he can't do it again, he's doing it again. The price keeps going up for edge rushers, right? Here's Jerry Jones at speaking with the media yesterday. That's Brian Schottenheimer. Here's Jerry Jones. There we go.
Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously. We've signed, I remember signing a player for the highest paid at the position in the league, and he got knocked out 2/3 of the year, Dak Prescott. So there's a lot of things you can think about when you, just as the player does, when you're thinking about committing and guaranteeing money.
There he is, Jerry Jones, not only angering Micah Parsons, who has actually reported the training camp without, like, he could have held out. He could be being a pain in the ass. He actually showed up and was, up until this point, he was being a good soldier. So you're going to anger Micah Parsons, who's pissed, and you take a shot at Dak Prescott. By the way, he made stuff up. He didn't miss 6 games last year, Micah Parsons. Dak Prescott didn't miss as much time as he said. He missed 9 of 17 games. So in taking a shot at his most important players on his team, he also made stuff up to do it.
So this is telling myself and everybody, you're a happily married man now. But
yes.
hopefully some point in your life, you dated someone who was just a loser, let's say. They were infatuated with you. It didn't matter what you said to them. It didn't matter how you treated them. And you're a better person than that. But sometimes you just talk to this person like they're nothing. And you're like, and you still love me, and you're still going to come over and do the things that I want you to do. And you're still going to have dinner with me. Like, where's your self-respect? And it builds up a supervillain in your mind until you finally get bored of treating that person that way. You get disgusted with yourself. Like, how are you accepting me to treat you like that? That's the grand delusion that Jerry has. He talks about these players. He talks about these fans like they're the dumbest people on earth, and it doesn't matter to him at all because I'm Jerry Jones, and it doesn't matter what I say. You're going to do what I want you to do at the end of the day. Oh, man, it's a sycophant relationship he has going on. The fact that Micah Parsons, one, says all the dumb things he says, he's out here carrying the torch and carrying the water for the Cowboys left and right, embarrassing himself on national TV weekly with his podcast, carrying the Cowboys water. And for Jerry Jones to sit there and treat him like a red step-headed child, it feels so good. The disrespect is amazing. I appreciate it.
So he did it with CeeDee Lamb. He's done it with offensive linemen. He did it with Dak Prescott twice. He goes through this whole charade and then ends up paying him anyway and pays him even more money. If they would have signed him last year, the price tag keeps going up. So every edge rusher that signs, then it's like, oh, Micah Parsons just made another $20 million. Micah Parsons just made another $20 million. Because we both know he's going to sign him, right?
Yeah.
He's going to sign him, and he's going to pay him as much money as if he wasn't doing this. But the longer he waits, the more money he pays, which is great. we love watching this from afar because the Cowboys are never winning anything. And Jerry Jones, by the way, rich people don't die young, right? So HGH, plastic surgery, all the good medicine, whatever. Jerry Jones is going to be 88 years old doing this same crap at training camp, and nobody's going to be able to stop him. Good luck with that.
And
it's great.
The real embarrassing part is the Cowboys are part of the league witch hunt to get Harry Roseman to stop being able to manipulate the cap.
The salary cap, yes.
Like, you know how you can manipulate a salary cap? Signing the guy when his contract's up, when he's a world all-star player. That's what you do. You want to save some money? You wait until he waits until week 2 to sign everybody, where everybody's been signing all season, because guys hold out. It's absolutely insane how this man can shoot himself in the foot and his son can't get through to him. It is embarrassing, but we love it. It feels so good.
Derrick Henry, I believe it was a $9 million guaranteed contract. Derrick Henry contract, not the new one he signed, but the old one.
Yeah.
It was like $9 million guaranteed. I mean, you talk about an undervalued commodity because he's a friggin' running back. So everybody, you can't do that to a running back. Jerry Jones actually, before the season started, and then after Derrick Henry was going nuts to start the season, he's like, whoa, I don't think he would have that same success here. Oh, so your team sucks and you're saying you wouldn't have been good here? They gave Ezekiel Elliott $3 million guaranteed, and Ezekiel Elliott's cooked. He's done. For a couple more $1 million, they said they couldn't afford Derrick Henry. You can cook any contract you want. The Eagles sign every freaking player because they don't mind paying. Jerry Jones is the cheapest MFing billionaire you'll ever meet in your life. It's unbelievable. It's great.
It's sad because of how good they draft. But the Henry thing was even worse because Henry would have taken $7 million because Dallas doesn't have any taxes. He would have took 7. So
cost of living's lower.
They paid 3. All you had to do is pay 4 more, not 6 more. Because Jerry Jones told it himself. Oh, what did he sign for 9? Oh, he wanted 7 here. So that just go. Well, if he only took 7 from you, why did you give it to him? Man.
Unbelievable. I think Saquon Barkley wanted to go to the Eagles. Derrick Henry wanted to go to the Cowboys.
He did. You want to be a Cowboy.
And is your team better? Ezekiel Elliott or Derrick Henry? Oh my God. This guy is keep giving, Jerry. Jerry.
When the fans go out and they put up the highlights of Zeke in the offseason, I'm like, what are you doing? You know better. Keep feeding him. I think he retired now. Phillip Rivers retired finally. I thought he'd already retired like 9 years ago with his 50th kid.
I think Ezekiel Elliott didn't have much of a choice of retiring, being that the Cowboys were the only dumbass team that were willing to give him anything last year.
Yep.
Very, very cool. I saw Mina Kimes is going to be doing bi-weekly appearances on the PHLY Eagles show. She joined the fellas yesterday. That's awesome. I can't tell you that I watch a lot of Mina Kimes because I just that's not how I consume content. But I mean, anytime I see the videos of her or whatever, she has a certain way about her. I know some people accuse her of being an anti-Eagles fan or negative on the Eagles, but it's a good get. It's a good get for us here.
She's a very stat driven person. I welcome her along with my weekly stint here that she's coming on bi-weekly. That's good for the station, good for the network, good for the people.
All right, there you go. Coming back, BetParx Parlay of the day and a lot more. Philly with John Marks, PHLY. Why? All right, listen. BetParx. Been mentioned in my videos that I've been doing for the BetParx app. Just go to the BetParx app, go to the sports book, then go to BetWire. And you can see I do 4 videos a week, right? So yesterday was AJ Brown. Today I'm going to do Saquon Barkley. It could be a day-to-day thing, right? Like I could I like Zack Wheeler over on strikeouts and the Phillies are winning, right? Like it really depends. It could be one of Tyler's picks that he has where he does something like the first 6 innings of a game or plus strikeouts on a pitcher I probably never heard of, right? So right there on the BetParx app, it's a pretty cool feature. It's not just me. It's a lot of content creators, a lot of other betting experts. So you can go to the app and you can tail our picks. So it's like, hey, this guy's won 8 of 10. Well, let me take a look at his picks. Let me tail his picks. So that's very cool. But game 2 of the series tonight, who do you like? We mentioned Bryce Harper's on fire. You want to ride that? You think he's going deep tonight? You want to do total bases with Bryce Harper? You can live bet. You can bet within the app, player performances, pitching performances, everything else you need. That's right there on the BetParx app. So check it out, betparx.com for all the information. betparx.com. And if if sports isn't enough, like all your favorite casino games right there on the BetParx app. You get it all. You get it all. New games also in the BetParx app, including the Flintstones and Money Horse. And new casino users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParx.com. You must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. BetParx. Hooah. All right, Empire today, new flooring. Makes your home look great. If you own an investment property and you go in, like when I have my condo and I'm like, all right, like everything needs to be redone. What are the first things that you do? Like the carpeting was horrible. So I got new flooring, the hardwoods. It made all the difference in the world. So whether it's for your home, whether it's for your basement, whether it's for wherever, Empire today is the place to do it. So you can go to the big box store and you could wander around and look for somebody to help you. And then you finally find somebody and they work in appliances. Lou. Hey, Lou, can you answer questions about this flooring right here? Should I go vinyl? Should I go Lou's like, hold on a second, right? Don't do that. EmpireToday.com/PHLY. First of all, that saves you $350 discount. Promo code PHLY. You schedule a free in-home consultation. An expert comes to your home. You talk about everything. You look at the flooring. You have it in your space. You have it with your lighting, with your walls, with your furniture, so you know how it's going to look. They take precise measurements. And then if you like, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. But, I mean, you think about it, right? As opposed to buying the flooring, having to haul it away, hiring a contractor, having to be there with it. Empire today, from the first contact to when the job's over, they're taking care of everything for you. You don't have to worry about it. You just got to let them in the house and let them do their job. Let them do their thing. All right. EmpireToday.com/PHLY. EmpireToday.com/PHLY. Again, restrictions do apply, but a $350 discount. Just use the code PHLY. EmpireToday.com/PHLY. All right, hooah, we're back. Philly with John Marks, PHLY. Why? Black Gritty, your thoughts on David Robertson? Circle back to the Phillies for a second. Your thoughts on David Robertson signing with the Phillies again?
Yay. More. Thank you. More.
Yeah, exactly. That can't be the only thing, but that's, if it's Seth Johnson or David Robertson in the seventh inning, I'll take David Robertson.
I forgot because I know how much the only reason you love me, Johnny Marks, is for two things. One, my good looks, and secondly, my props. This is David Robertson. I'd like to have more, please. Can I have more? This is good. This is. But could I have more, please? I just want a little bit more.
Hold on, is that Wishbone? Is that Wishbone?
What brand is it?
Well, that's Wishbone.
Yeah. Yep.
The Wishbone Golden Italian is like old school Golden Italian. Exactly what I remember as being a kid, being in it like a summer barbecue with the big salad with iceberg lettuce and whatever else. Like, hey, give me the Italian dressing. And it doesn't have the squirt nozzle. If you don't pay attention, you'll pour the whole dressing in the thing. Yep.
It just runs out. Oh God.
I need more.
I've been eating a lot of Santa Lads lately, so I got it on deck right here.
But you had another prop. Is that still there? You were showing us before the show. You had another prop. No, the Cowboys prop. The Cowboys prop.
Oh yeah, I should put it in the chat. I should send it to Tyler so that he could put it up on the screen. Let me do that.
Oh no! I thought it was no. You're no. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It was a
Dallas Cowboys ring that's shaped like a VHS tape.
Right. Yep. Because that's like any Cowboy fan that's alive. That's the only way that they were alive when VHS tapes. That's how you're watching their Super Bowls right now.
And you know what makes you feel so good when you think about it? How crazy it is. Them, the Commanders, the 49ers. There's something like the 49ers have had almost success, but they keep falling short over and over and over again. And it's just like, man, alive. You still got to go back to 96, 94 for your championships. I'm just saying. The Eagles ring, that ring is amazing. I know you probably talked about it, but man, that ring is just like every Bird team is jealous of them for their all time now. No one else can do it. It's the first one to do it. It's absolutely incredible. It's incredible.
So I'm in a group chat with my fantasy football team, like my fantasy football league, and because it's a lot of guys that went to Temple with I didn't even go to Temple with them, but they went to Temple with guys that I'm friends with, and we became very good friends. So there's a number of, I want to say there's like 4 or 5 non-Eagles fans in the 12-team league, and Giant fan, Washington fan, Cowboy fan, and then 2 Steeler fans. So there's 5. All I heard about, and we've been playing since year 2000. All right. All I heard about for how many years, Black Gritty, was Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Going on 2 decades, I had to always my tail between my legs because that was the ultimate trump card.
Yep.
Not a lot of talk in the group chat these days.
And didn't care that we had 3 world championships, which again is essentially just a Super Bowl name change. We were the champions of the world. We were the champions of the league. And just because it doesn't say Super Bowl doesn't mean we weren't world champions. Right. But that doesn't matter because that's for games. Doesn't matter. Well, I'm counting them now. Now I got Super Bowl rings and we the OGs. We're one of the first franchises establishing wins. And now we racking them up now too. So I got 5 rings right now. I'm trying to get to 10. I don't want to hear nothing, Johnny Marks.
And back to back, it kind of puts you in a dynasty. You go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years and win 2, and you have another one 10 years before.
So the best thing about certain things in life is like having to deal with the Patriots, and when Manning just ruined that man's legacy, he just crushed Bill Belichick, and then they did it again. They literally saved America. The Eagles saved America because the Chiefs had their documentary going. They had the 3-peat. And they released a trailer for it. And oh my gosh, not to be graphic, but these guys were primed and pumped all season long, ready to explode, and then just got blue balled into oblivion. And oh God, the Eagles saved America because that you would have been sick of them. If you're not a Jordan fan and you hear 3-peat and 3-peat and 3-peat, you would have been absolutely sick to have to hear what these guys were about to pop off about. And that documentary looks sexy to me now. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, Mahomes has turned into, he's really irritating. After all the years, he's it's obviously still a great player.
Yeah,
but he's really irritating. And it feels like that. Not that America turned on Pat Mahomes, but people are like, all right, you're kind of like a creepy player.
Yeah.
But then the whole Taylor Swift thing totally backfired on him.
Yep.
Totally backfired on him because people were so sick of seeing it. And Travis Travie, Uncle Travie.
And the thing, too, that was bad about it, like, again, only because they insert themselves, his wife was annoying, pouring champagne on people, talking out, speaking out, tweeting. The Mahomes. Brother Jack with all the dances like that. Taylor Swift actually saved us from Jack because he was disgustingly annoying. So, I mean, the whole Mahomes family, like, what's your favorite food? Fried chicken? No. What don't do, babe? Lose. We don't lose. It was like Talladega Nights listening to that family. It was just absurdity after absurdity after absurdity. And again, the joy in my heart watching their downfall. Ooh, Philadelphia Eagles saved America.
The look on their faces on the sideline. The Chris Jones looking up and being like, oh my God. The Pat Mahomes, they're standing there holding the shoulder pads being like, all right, let's go. Come on. We're all right. Like, no, you ain't.
My favorite thing in life is when someone said to Travis, well, Tom Brady, he came back, right? What was it, 28-3? We could do it. No, you can't. As Jalen Carter's punching Pat Mahomes in the face and knocking his helmet off.
Oh,
God, so good. Life is good. We're champions.
Let's get to our BetParx Parlay of the day. All right, did you hit last night, Tyler Zulli, on your baseball bot special?
No, I did not. I needed 15.5 outs from Yuri Perez, and he got 15.
No way.
Yeah, I needed him to get into the 6th, and he only pitched 5. He threw a lot of pitches last night. He was at like 50-some-odd pitches after 2. So, and it only ended up throwing like 87, but I think they're still working him back from Tommy John. So I needed an extra out, and unfortunately didn't get it. So that did not hit.
All right, what do you got? Give us something good.
I'm going to go to the Tigers-Pirates game today. Casey Mize on the mound for the Tigers. I believe he has no run first inning in 9 of his last 11 starts. The Pirates don't score runs. Mitch Keller's been pretty good in that regard as well. So I am going to go to the under in the Tigers and Pirates first inning, no run first inning. I'm going to say, which give me a second. I just lost it. It is minus 118, no run first inning.
Well, Black Gritty, I like the Chris Sanchez over 6.5 strikeouts, which is plus 107. I love Chris Sanchez. He is. We've been on him since. I mean, really, like this is the most positive Chris Sanchez show, even dating back to spring training.
It's true.
He's awesome. He's their second best pitcher.
You actually took mine, so I'll say
no way.
Jalen Hurts over 11.5 TDs. I'm going to put a future out there, so I don't have to worry about being wrong for 9 months.
Right.
No. I'll take what you said earlier. I'll give me Bryce with 2 hits. Give me Bryce with 2 hits tonight. Bryce is locked in.
So that Jalen Hurts, that's a rushing touchdown.
Yeah,
you're talking about.
Yep. I think it's at 11.5. I think he gets 12 or 13.
Well, it's probably the last year of the tush push, right? So
yeah, exactly. So that's why. Yep. So
interesting. Yeah, I was just looking at
because you were talking about other futures, you were talking about other things in the future, and I was like, oh yeah, it's I forgot about that Jalen Hurts. I was looking at that the other day. I gotta go get my bets in. I mean, I put some on Saquon too.
Ooh, but you can't. You're gonna bet the under, or you're gonna look for because Saquon's rushing touchdowns are pretty heavy too. All right, Jalen Hurts. Here we go. So total rushing yards. This is on the BetParx app right now. Total rushing yards over under 600.5, and it's minus 110 either way.
Yeah,
it's right on the number with rushing yards, right?
Yeah.
Over under rushing touchdowns, 12.5.
See, okay, it's going up. That's why, because I wanted to get an 11.5. Now, because I was thinking he's going to get 13. Now, see, people were betting where I wanted to bet when I saw it yesterday or 2 days ago.
Man,
dang it,
13's a lot. I know that he's had. When you look at his numbers, he's had pretty much.
They're going to be down to 1 yard line, and they don't do anything besides the tush push.
Why would they?
Yeah, so he's that's a good number still. He's going to get 13, 14 touchdowns.
Total passing yards regular season, 3,200.5.
He's going to go over that this year.
I agree with you, and I think pretty easily. Because if you look last year, 2,900, he had almost 3,900 passing yards the year before and 3,700 passing yards the year before that.
Yeah.
They're going to throw. I mean, I'm telling you, they're going to throw the ball a lot more this year. They're going to have to.
They are.
Rushing yards last year, he had 354. No, excuse me. He had 630 and 14 rushing touchdowns. Oh my God.
Yeah.
605 the year before. So in the last 4 years, starting with last year, 14 rushing touchdowns, 15 rushing touchdowns, 13 and 10. When the tush push became a big thing, 13 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
And like you said, you get down to the 2 yard line, they're doing the tush push.
And he's always guaranteed to every 3 games running one from 40 yards out. He's going to break one.
Passing touchdowns over under 19.5.
Oh, over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 18 last year, 23, 22 the year before that.
Shoot. AJ Brown dropped 4 off the top of my head that I could think of in the end zone.
Yeah. I don't want to get back into the whole, he's high, should be higher than 9th and disrespect or whatever. He had 18 rushing touchdowns because he can have 14 or 18 passing touchdowns because he can have 14 rushing touchdowns because that's what the offense was.
Yeah. Instead of running a fade, they're running the tush push.
Man.
So it takes away from those things. Now, he could throw a fade to AJ, but they're like, why even risk it? Why risk the biscuit?
No risk it, no biscuit. If you're watching live on TV, slide on over to allphly.com. We're officially in overtime. Wah. Yeah, again, I just because I see now everybody and it's a machine. The NFL's a machine. So you get an ESPN list where executives vote him the 9th best quarterback. Then you get one of the personalities that agrees. And Stephen A. Smith came out yesterday and he was like, I think Jalen Hurts is better than being the 9th best quarterback. Oh, thanks, Stephen A. Thanks for paying attention. Because now Stephen A. has the daily Sirius XM radio show. Yeah. As if he doesn't have enough on his plate. Now he's doing another daily radio show on top of podcasts and everything else. So
my favorite thing about that is Philadelphia fans care. So by being mean to us, it makes them get reactions and it makes them get the hits that they want. Cam Newton came out and trashed Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, it was Cam.
Then he got embarrassed. Then he came out and said, "Oh, my bad, I'm wrong. He's elite." Then he comes out and doesn't put him in his top 10 after ending Super Bowl. Like, just tell me you're jealous, bro. I know you were the first one with the Superman S on the chest. I used to love you, Cam, and now you just look ridiculous with your Scooby-Doo hats on. And I'm like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? So I'm going on a world tour. I'm going on a campaign. I'm gonna start like Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback that ever walked the face of earth, and that's just what I'm going to tell everybody. I'll fight people in the streets for because I'm tired of it.
I mean, just to hopefully, I'm sure Cam has, you know, he had financial advisors and things like that, and hopefully he has a lot of money saved because his career is not in media. I can't believe they're still putting him on the air. I mean, he legitimately sounds silly when he goes up there with some of the stuff he says. Legit.
And again, the best thing about him is he's got his own little network. He's got his own little shows, and he does his like social show, and he does a sports show, and he's just good enough to get to talk and get people to listen to him. And again, you've got to say the things you got to say to get people to click. At this point, I feel like it's the Caitlin Clark effect. So they made fun of her at the All-Star game saying, "Oh, well, she wasn't in the meeting for the shirts." Okay, well, you trying to get money or not? Because it's because of her and Angel Reese that you're actually having popularity right now. You're going to diss her? Oh, the team goes out and votes, and you vote her the 9th best player, try not to keep her All-Star. Like, what are you as the players, the ones who want more money? You're disrespecting the person as the cash cow, and that's what they do with the Eagles right now. They're like, look, Philadelphia is annoying. Let's go annoy them first before they come and kick our backs in. And you can see it coming from a mile away. And I'm here for it. I'm here to play the game. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know, like it didn't make something that we talked about, but I'm glad you included Angel Reese as well, because if it's Caitlin Clark 1, it's Angel Reese 2.
Yep.
Because obviously they want more money, and I'm you know, like, I hope they get more money. I do. I also know that as a business, they haven't been profitable until recently, and that's the reason why they weren't making a lot of money and they were flying charter, and things are changing and they should get more money. But to see some of the attitudes of these players coming up, acting like, excuse me, I've never heard of your freaking name. I don't care if you're a 4-time All-Star and you have like Kelsey Plum, whoever she is, and people are like, oh, well, she's hot. I never heard of her before.
Yeah.
Never heard of her. So whether or not she was joking around or what she said, just like it wasn't well executed or whatever, everybody out there in the WNBA, let me tell you something. I don't know any of you. I didn't start paying attention to watching until Caitlin Clark came in, and then Angel Reese balanced Caitlin Clark by being the magic to the bird and the bird to the magic. It works. I actually have interest. I'm not watching games, but I actually have interest in what's going on. And it ain't because of anybody else. Trust me. So you remember that. When you diss and you beat up on Caitlin Clark, you just remember the reason you're at the table having these negotiations and making more money and not flying Southwest air is because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
So just remember that. Don't be disrespectful.
And the thing that cracks me up the most is like, so the reason Caitlin and Angel don't need to worry about it, it's like, I call it villain and the victim. Like, Clark plays the victim all the time, and that means Reese has got to be the villain because nobody can be Magic Johnson. It can't be the villain and the smiley. So both of these girls make $76,000 a year on their rookie contract. Well, Angel Reese is riding around in a G-Wagon that costs $157,000 and is bulletproof, by the way, so it's probably like $250,000. You know why? Because she's marketable. She has a podcast. She's got a shoe deal with Reebok. She actually was a champion. As much as like a Caitlin Clark thing, like, you need that. Caitlin was never a champion. Angel was a champion from middle school on. She championshiped at every single level, high school, everything. Caitlin was not a champion. So to have those two come together and explode, and for the reasons that America is the way it is, pump that up. Even when they lose or one lose to another, like you said, it makes you have interest, and you've got to respect that. And the reason that they aren't crying foul as much, I mean, Angel likes to cry about everything because she's like that.
Oh yeah.
But she's making money. You know what I mean? They were betting against her Me Bounce. She goes and trademarks Me Bounce and then calls her new shoe Me Bounce. Like, I'm sorry, she's a good business person. Maybe awesome. the plum girl you're talking about, I know her for two reasons. You'll know when I say it. She married Warren, whatever, the tight end who lost his mind and unretired recently, who went to go have a rap career. The Giants tight end who was the Raiders tight end. Yeah. She married him for 3 weeks.
Him. Oh, yeah, and they divorced.
For 3 weeks, then they got divorced. And she was at NBA game, and she was throwing out T-shirts, and she launched this thing. She's the meme of the girl who launched the T-shirt into the upper deck. And I'm like, that's where I found her out from. I didn't know she played with the WNBA. I was in love with this chick. I thought she was a regular fan. They're like, oh, she's in the WNBA. I'm like, who? The T-shirt throwing girl? Like, that's where I knew you from.
And
so
she's
like,
a four-time All-Star and a
she's
two-time champion.
Champion, yeah. Now
and I know that because of Caitlin Clark, because she talked about Caitlin Clark.
Exactly.
I do. And like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark making $75,000, the same as the other rookies. That, like, Jokic makes $51 million a year. Bradley Beal makes 50, right? Like, unfortunately, in the NBA, when you're maxed out, you're maxed out. LeBron in his prime was probably worth $500 million a year compared to some of these losers and the money they make because everybody has max salary spots to give out. Tobias Harris was making almost as much money as LeBron James at one point. You think about that, right? And that's the same thing with Caitlin Clark.
Michael Jordan was gambling away his whole contract on a weekend because he wasn't getting paid that much money. He was the face of the league. Like, come on, bro. At some point, not for nothing, I feel like the WNBA is in the white guy stage of the NBA. They're in black and white. They're out there. You know, some people show up and things like that. But they need to lower the rim to 9 feet and start dunking the ball for people to start caring. Because once they put some brothers in there and people started dunking the ball, like, oh, look at this basketball. Look at this thing. So they're still in the black and white, old school white guy era as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Shout out to everybody out there. Anthony is live. You can switch on over to him, and he'll take you through the rest of the morning. So check him out. Black Gritty, thank you. Go to blackgritty.com for events. He is available for birthday parties, sweet 16s, bat mitzvahs.
I'm putting up videos again. I started posting some videos, so check out my content coming back. I'm trying to get active besides hanging out with you on Tuesdays.
Right. Yep. Yeah. He performing live, I believe, at a local bar in your neighborhood on Tuesdays.
Shaking them things.
There you go. Black Gritty to the center stage. Black Gritty to the center stage. Tyler, appreciate you, buddy. Everybody, have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. See you.
We all silly like the mayor.